Hello, everyone, and welcome to Zelda Speedruns. Today we've got the Tears of the Kingdom Any% tournament group scene race between ZSRoach and Rom's ABT. Here on commentary, we've got Sledgen, who I'm going to hand it over to. Enjoy the race, everyone.
All right, we have got ZSRoach versus Roms, and this is going to be a pretty hype race. I know that ZSRoach did some runs on version 1.2.0 in the past, I believe. But looking at his splits, it looks like he'll be running on version 1.0 for this race. Looking at the runners' agreements, though, I believe intro skip is a no, intro amiibo is a no, but intro clip and Ganonzoggle are both allowed, I believe. So that's going to be interesting. So now the race is about to start. And so we will just see both runners showing their versions before they start. And then we will immediately be getting into the run. So it looks like ZSRoach is booting up their game here. And so, for this race, intro clip has been allowed, but whether both runners will actually go for intro clip, we do not know. I haven't personally seen their runs recently, so I do not know if they're going to be going for intro clip. But yeah, about intro clip as the glitch. Basically, by climbing a very specific spot on a stalactite in the intro and doing a climbing jump, you can actually clip out of bounds. It is pretty precise, and you can do some movement out of bounds. And it can save up to a minute if done well. And it is only possible on version 1.0. So here we go. The run is starting from the intro, and we'll be able to see right away if both of the runners go for it. If you don't go for intro clip, however, you can still play through the intro as normal, doing a few small minor optimizations here and there. But it's a lot of skipping cutscenes and dialogue. Okay, so it looks like both runners will be going for intro clip, both climbing up to a very specific spot on the wall here, both clipping through at the exact same time. Very nice. And there's this... it looks like ZSRoach accidentally missed that precise backward slash there. And it looks like Roms accidentally dived for a little bit too long when trying to do some of the Mozdor jumps there. So they're basically still synced up, even though they both failed the initial start of the intro clip movement. So Roms accidentally triggered the cutscene that he was trying to jump over right there, whilst ZSRoach is doing the out of bounds movement because they've already triggered that cutscene. Looks like Roms is just going to be moving through the intro normally, and so this gives Roach the opportunity to be ahead here. So intro clip is pretty precise, but from what I've seen, I've never actually done it myself due to being on a different version, but from what I've seen, intro clip is a consistent trick if you have the right setup, but it's just pretty precise. Alright, and that is Roach exiting the intro section, and just about saving a tiny bit of time over going through the intro normally. So even though they didn't save as much time as they could have, they still save time over doing the intro normally, so intro clip was 100% worth it for them in this race. And now we get to see the long cutscene that is unskippable. But whilst we see that, we can also see Roms killing these 3 Keys. Funnily enough, these are the only enemies you have to fight in the intro section, and you can lose a little bit of time to them. Some people try to get them all in a spin attack, and some just hit them individually. Okay, and that is Roms finishing the intro section. And now we will see Ganondorf talking.
Was that the sword that seals the darkness?
So, a thing about this cutscene is that the community does not like that this cutscene is unskippable. So, intro skip is indeed a thing, where you can start the timer in the Room of Awakening around 6.5 minutes in. But since intro clip is a thing, runners on version 1.0 will often just start from new games so that they can save lots of time from the intro clip. But intro skip is still an option that you can do. It's just that pretty much everyone who has learned intro clip doesn't skip the intro anymore because you can save a minute. Alright, and at the very start of GSI, we might see some interesting things from the players, but I do not know which strats everyone goes for. There are some difficult strategies you can do at the very start called Early Ascend, which is where there are a couple different versions of it actually, but Early Ascend as a general concept is you land near the Puripad construct on a wing, and you talk to it, and then you place down more wings, and you place down more wings at Temple of Time, and then you void out, and it will bring you all the way up to where you first got the chest with the wings in it, and then you can just dive straight to Ascend, basically. Whereas usually in this route, you would go down, walk to the Puripad construct normally, and then place down some wings at the Temple of Time and void out, except that time it would only bring you up to where the Puripad construct was. Early Ascend saves a little bit of time over not doing it, but it is a pretty difficult thing to go for. I believe ROMs will be going for Zoggle Overload Arrow Smuggle though, which is a pretty interesting group of tricks that we will see later on maybe. But yeah, that is ZSRoach exiting the intro cutscene, grabbing the Decayed Master Sword now. And now we're going to get into Cog Skip, a trick that is basically required for every category right now. And both runners are playing on version 1.0, I believe. But yeah, Cog Skip, pretty difficult trick. It is quite difficult to get consistent at it. And basically using the speed of this little slope off of this cog here and having a precise position and angle, we can run and jump, throw aim backwards, and slash to get onto this ledge right here. And that's ZSRoach getting it. Oh no, they accidentally fell off. That's really unfortunate. This trick can be really annoying. Can sometimes mess you up really badly. But yeah, this is going to give Roms an opportunity to catch up here, as he's just grabbing the Decayed Master Sword. Okay, and now Roms will be attempting Cog Skip. It looks like they're both going for the setup where you crouch. And that is Roms getting it first try, but ZSRoach got it just before him. So ZSRoach is slightly in the lead now, but they are very close. Roms getting it first try. And yeah, now we will see both runners doing some climbing and some general movement up to this chest with wings in it. And ZSRoach will be grabbing some tree branches from those little bushes there, which indicates that they're going to do a strategy later on called Zuggle Overload Arrow Smuggle, which requires a few tree branches to set up, which is why they were doing that. And you can also see ZSRoach going to the right side, so I think they're going to be going for early ascend here. And Roms looks like he's just going to do it normally. So one thing you might see both runners just do generally throughout the run is called crouch throw sprinting. Basically, by crouching, cancelling the crouch, tapping the R button, and then pressing B, you can go slightly faster whilst you're trying to get back your stamina. So you might see that a little bit in these runs, but the time it saves is very minimal, so it's definitely not a requirement. Alright, and there we got to see Roms do a mid-air slash to get onto that lily pad, and then cancelled Link's falling animation with a crouch. As we can see Roach doing wing flip, unfortunately failing it, but they did actually get the wall grab off of that wing. How wing flip is meant to work is you're meant to drop a wing in midair, it will flip around, you will be able to do basically a full damage cancel by grabbing the side of the wing as if it was a wall, and then dropping another wing, and then flying that down to the construct. It's a very difficult strategy, but they did almost get it. Now we will be receiving the Pure Pad. One interesting thing about this cutscene that was found recently is that when you grab the Pure Pad, you can quickly open the map and close it to cancel a text box, and it will save like 10 frames or something like that. Very small optimization, but pretty cool. Alright, and now we will see Roms dropping a wing and going towards the Temple of Time. They'll be duplicating some wings whilst riding the other one by pressing B and Y at a similar time so that they can sort the wings and close the menu at the same time, and that will effectively duplicate them as long as you can not take out the wings. But yeah, we will see both runners riding this wing towards the Temple of Time, and then dropping another one behind them and activating the cutscene. After they skip this cutscene, the other wing will now be the one they're standing on, and then they can jump slash and void out, and it will bring them all the way back up to the island we were just on before. And this is one of the most important things about the early wings route. And now we will see Roms doing a precise wing drop off of that ledge to reach the bottomless cave. Unfortunately, Roach going for the other one, that can seem a little bit harder if you only use one wing in that specific spot to go to the bottomless cave. There has been a strat recently that people have been using where they backflip, start diving, drop a wing, cancel the dive, and then jump/backwards onto it at this ledge. And a lot of people have found that a lot easier for that specific part. But many people do many different things here. So in the bottomless cave, we can see Roms grabbing some bombs. He will be fusing those to his shield later on. We will see Roach do a similar thing as well, grabbing some bombs. And now we will do some tight stamina movement up here. We will make sure to not run out of stamina as we climb up those tree branches there. And I definitely remember that when I started watching speedruns of this game, or when I started watching runs of this route, players being on half a heart, or just one heart when they enter the Ascend Shrine, is a little bit intense, but you definitely get used to it, because this is very consistent. Alright, and now Roms will be entering the Ascend Shrine. The Ascend Shrine is a pretty simple one for speedruns. It's mostly just using Ascend, but there is a bridge with ropes you have to cut, and you have to avoid a construct as well, and the community has called that construct Billy. He sometimes can shoot you and kill some runs, which is unfortunate, but hopefully he'll behave today. Alright, and now we will see Roms actually duping some bombs in the Ascend Shrine. Doing some duplication there, and the reason why they're doing that in Ascend specifically is because the Ascend Shrine is all on a cycle. So in these main speedruns here, that speedrunners will be making the exact same cycle every single time. So because this cycle is slightly lenient with the platform at the end, they will have time to dupe a few bombs there. But we did notice that Roms did kill the construct there, and they did that to get a bow. That will again be useful for Zuggle Overload Arrow Smuggle, which I think they're going to be doing later on. And they're gonna do, if they do in fact do that, we are gonna see the setup for that in the Fuse Shrine. And it looks like Roach is also going for that as well, using some hits and spin attacks to get that bow. So that's really interesting, seeing both runners go for Zuggle Overload Arrow Smuggle. It's a really interesting strategy for speedruns of Tears of the Kingdom, because it can allow you to do so many different things in the run, mostly involving arrow smuggle flight, but some of them involve getting infinite height with the arrow smuggle glitch in order to clip out of bounds. And that is Roms finishing the Ascend Shrine. One of the uses of Arrow Smuggle is you can use it to skip the Construct cutscene in Fuse, which saves around... well, the Construct cutscene in Fuse takes about 10 seconds. So, this speedrun is one with a lot of cutscenes, but gladly we were able to cut off 10 seconds of them. So... But yeah, since Amiibo is a no for this race, they banned it, they will not be scanning Amiibo here. Now, there is a route in Tears of the Kingdom where you can scan a Daruk Amiibo to get a gem, which we need for the army fight later on. And you can get one from the Amiibo, but it's a pretty low chance to get one. And a lot of runners do not like RNG, myself included. So that might be a reason why the runners have banned that for this race, because that route can save time. Now we will see Roms going towards the pondside cave and getting a battery from the construct here, which is pretty convenient. The reason why we're going to pondside cave is because we're going to get a ruby from one of these ore deposits. Now, thankfully, this is not RNG, and the ruby from this rare ore deposit is actually guaranteed, which is extremely nice. So we're going to see them break them with bombs, accidentally getting the amber, but there's the ruby. Killing that Keese, because that Keese can be really annoying. And we can also see Roach doing the same thing, pretty much. Now we will see Roms heading towards these constructs, and he will be killing them with a ruby. Because the reason why we have to kill them is, one, we can get a shield from them, which is really convenient, and two, there's a cooking pot next to them, which in the Amiibo route you would cook food in. But because this is no Amiibo, you just saw Roms run straight past them. Though there is an alternate route around here where you can get frogs and choo-choo jelly to cook a speed food meal, or elixir. So it'll be interesting to see what routes these guys go for no Amiibo to get speed food. Because I'd be pretty surprised if they went for all of GSI with no speed food. And here we can see Roach doing the crouch throw sprinting method that I was mentioning earlier. Grabbing that tree branch by the Fuse Shrine for Zoggle Overload Arrow Smuggle, which is quickly approaching. We are going to see runners do a lot of menuing soon, and that will basically be stacking a bunch of weapons on Link's back at the same time, and it will overload the game, and it will allow us to have Arrow Smuggle as well. But first, we need to get the key from this chest. So we will see the runners probably shoot a bomb at a precise spot in the middle of this chest. You want to aim around there, shoot it, and if you're lucky, or if you have good aim, the chest will bounce all the way to this water over here, and that will save a little bit of time. Interestingly, Roms did use a bomb shield to skip breaking these rocks, but Roach grabbed the Rusty Claymore and duped some of his materials earlier. Alright, so now they're opening the key, or opening the locked door, and now we can see Roms doing Zoggle Overload Arrow Smuggle. So with all of this menuing, he is doing a glitch called Zoggle. It's stacking a bunch of weapons on Link's back at the same time, and if he does it enough, then it will overload the game, and it will give him a thing called Arrow Smuggle, which is going to be extremely useful for the rest of the run. It's going to be used a lot, and it's going to save a lot of time. And it's quite a recent development in the any% speedrun. We can also see Roach doing the Zuggle Overload Arrow Smuggle setup here. The setup also involves unpausing and pausing quite quickly to make it work. Now, I don't know... I'm not super familiar with this trick myself, so I don't know if Rom's got it. It looks like he's going to be trying it again. We can also see with Roach's menuing how fast setting this up can really be. And then, once it's done, you can fuse a bow to your sword to get permanent arrow smuggle. Now he's going to be doing a thing called Construct Skip, where you can do arrow smuggle flight in the air, close to the ceiling, to skip the Construct cutscene there, and that will save quite a bit of time, and that's very nice from Roach. Very clean. I think we're going to see Roms do the exact same thing. Looks like he's doing a setup here. And yeah, I don't know if he triggered the cutscene here. Looks like he unfortunately died. Arrow smuggle flight can be pretty tough, so that's unfortunate. But it happens to the best of runners. Now Roach is going to be doing a precise setup here, and he's going to be doing arrow flight just like before, except he's going to be doing it all the way from the Fuse Shrine to the Ultra Hand Shrine. Now, doing it from this low down is pretty tough. You need to maintain a rhythm. A lot of runners use a metronome to practice this trick, because you need a pretty precise rhythm for it. And it looks pretty insane as well, but looks like he might get it. And yeah, he did. Very clean from Roach there. Very nice arrow smuggle stuff. You can also see Link do a little flip there. That's because that is the animation that arrow smuggle is cancelling, it's cancelling Link's jump slash animation, and when he does a jump slash with a two-handed weapon, he does a little front flip. So that's why Link was kind of going upside down there. But yeah, arrow smuggle, definitely to someone who hasn't seen speedruns of this game before, looks pretty insane. Very cool movement. Now we're going to be getting Ultra Hand, one of the least used abilities in this run. We're kind of just going to be skipping through this shrine with... well, you'll see. ZSRoach has done a precise setup to set up yet another arrow flight, and it looks like he got the right angle. Going to the side of the wall there, but yep, he got it as well. And you can see Roms attempt the Construct Skip again here. Looks like he got it. Very nice. Rom's recovering from the death, and he has got Zuggle Overload Arrow Smuggle again. But yeah, just from these few minutes, you've already seen like 3 instances of Arrow Smuggle being used. So you can kind of see just how much this will be used throughout the run, and just how much time it saves. So Roms is also going to be doing the arrow flight from Fuse to Ultra Hand, but in order to make it easier for himself, he's going to be doing a bomb jump off of a higher ledge. This loses a bit of time to do, but it's easier, so very understandable why he's going for it. Unfortunately dying from that, that's also unfortunate. Seems like arrow flight is being weird for him. So now we will see Roach getting the recall ability, however. The recall section of Great Sky Island is probably, in my opinion, one of the most simple, except we will be doing some more arrow flight shenanigans in this section. It is a lot of cutscenes, but we will be teleporting to the recall shrine, and then teleporting back to the Ultra Hand shrine to finish GSI, which is the Great Sky Island, after we've completed the recall shrine. And now we will see Roach doing a little bomb jump to skip that recall puzzle there. Then he's gonna intentionally mash the B button so that Link doesn't even attempt to open this door to trigger the Rauru dialogue faster. And after this, we are going to teleport to the recall shrine, except Link does this little animation of getting out his Sheikah Slate, so we are going to cancel that by either jumping or going into the inventory. You can see there he went into the inventory, and Link didn't do a little animation of taking out his Sheikah Slate. We can also see Roms attempting this arrow flight again. And Roach will be bomb jumping up to that tunnel, thankfully not having to do cog skip again. Doing some crouch throw sprinting to the recall shrine. Now there is an arrow flight that you can do in the recall shrine. I don't know if Roach is going to be going for it, but he might be. Looks like he is doing a little setup here. Yep, and he is going for the arrow flight in the recall shrine. And that is really... That was really close for Roms. He almost made it to the Ultra Hand Shrine with that arrow flight, but not quite. And he's going to have to get respawned all the way back at the Fuse Shrine and have to try it again. So that, whilst the arrow flight is very cool when you pull it off, it's also very punishing. Yeah, it is brutal. But yeah, now ZSRoach is going to be teleporting back to the Ultra Hand Shrine, maybe doing an arrow flight to the Temple of Time, and then just finishing the Great Sky Island. And then we're going to be heading straight to the endgame after that. But yeah, here on Roms' side, you can see an example of why Zoggle Overload Arrow Smoggle is so difficult. Because one small mistake can lose you so much time. It can be a very punishing trick. So here we can see Roach getting a little bomb jump off of those stairs. It will damage Link a little bit, but that's completely fine. Very nice, and that's an arrow flight to the Temple of Time. And now we're going to talk to this goddess statue, get a heart, and then open the door. Oh, and also for Zoggle Overload Arrow Smoggle, you might also see runners do a kind of big spin attack before they set it up. The reason why they do that is to drain their stamina, and the reason why they drain their stamina is so that Link doesn't go into bullet time when we do arrow flight, and that saves a ton of time. And now Roach is opening the door. Just doing this final little section. And there we go. That was a little bit close, but Roms has got the flight from Fuse to Ultra Hand. GG's on that. That was very nice. Now Roach is going to be doing a little bomb jump over there. But yeah, there is an arrow flight you can do in this section, but it doesn't save too much time, so they're just going to be running to the end. And that is GSI done for ZSRoach. He is going to be taking a wing to a spot to clip through a ceiling and then dive down to the army fight. I think the runners, since they're going for Zoggle Overload Arrow Smuggle, I think they're going to be going to the castle to do a little clip spot. Oh, and that was close. We can see ZSRoach doing a little backup here, trying to full damage cancel onto a wing because they accidentally missed the first one. There is a backup for midair wings where you can go into bullet time, basically do a jump / cancel, and just before you enter bullet time again, you can drop a wing and then do another one and go onto a wing. That's Roms finishing the Ultra Hand Shrine. Okay. That was a little bit scary for Roach, probably, but he managed to land on a wing, doing the bullet timeless midair wing drop back up. And now he'll be duping some rubies on his way to the castle, where he's going to clip through the ceiling and go straight to the army fight. Alright. We're good. We can also see Roms doing the arrow flight that Roach was doing earlier, from Ultra Hand to the Temple of Time. Alright, so now he's close to the castle. Roach is going to be doing some arrow flight, but he's also going to be using shield surfs to preserve his momentum in midair. Yeah, so they will be going to the castle. They'll be going down here, doing an arrow smuggle full damage cancel, which was so fast that you probably didn't even see it. They just did a jump / cancel with the arrow smuggle glitch, and then they immediately dived. So here they can just immediately clip through the ceiling. Though it can be hard to tell if you're going to clip through the ceiling with arrow smuggle active, because it is very position-based. You want Link's head to be slightly below, but not touching the ceiling you want to clip through. And also for these kinds of clips, in order to clip through ceilings consistently, usually you want ceilings that are like quite rocky, or ceilings that aren't very flat. Ceilings that are a little bit diagonal. But you can clip through flat ceilings, it's just a lot harder. Alright, so now Roach will be avoiding these little caverns out of bounds, and he's going to be going for a thing called Ragdoll Clip. They're going to be doing a full damage cancel in this specific spot right here. And ideally you want Link to kind of get damaged and enter a Ragdoll state, but if you don't enter the Ragdoll state, you can go into a shield surf and then cancel that with the L menu, and then buff it into the shield menu, and unequip a shield. And that can also clip you through. So that was a very nice backup from Roach there. Now entering the army fight, and this can be a really nerve-wracking part of a speedrun. It's not necessarily one of the most difficult parts, but it's a part that you can really easily die and mess up in. And if you don't get an autosave near where you do the ragdoll clip, so Roach didn't go for an autosave there, that means that if you die in the army fight, you will lose a lot of time. It's one of the most costly things you can fail in a run. They were having a little bit of trouble with the Goblin phase, but looks like they'll be fine. I did see on Roach's side, he almost hit some Bokoblins into Link, so very lucky that he's alive. We also see Roms completing the recall shrine now. Seems like recently GSI has been going pretty smoothly for him so far, or at least a lot better than before, which is great to see. Alright, now onto the Lizalfos phase, the hardest part of the army fight, in my opinion. This one can mess you up real bad, but Roach has managed to stun them all. Now, on version 1.0, you can do a Zoggle for the Ganondorf fight. You can stack a bunch of spears on Link's back, just like Zoggle Overload Arrow Smuggle, but this time we're going to use it to turn the Ganondorf fight into a joke. So yeah. Ganondorf Zoggle is a thing that you can ban in your matches if both runners agree to that, but they have allowed it for this one. So we will be seeing that later on. Now for the Moblin phase. The Moblins go pretty slowly, so you can basically aim the rubies at the exact same spots every time. You can also see Roach kind of running backwards there just to be safe, to make sure that the rubies don't hit him. Because the Moblins are slow, but they do keep running forwards, so you don't want to accidentally hit yourself with a ruby. Alright. Rom's receiving the heart container and is about to open the 4-heart door to complete the Great Sky Island, whilst Roach is going for the first clip here. They are going to clip out of bounds in this specific spot. They're going to do a shield surf to get out of bounds, very nice. And we're going to go behind this little wall at a precise spot here, and we're going to clip back in bounds with this again. And what's this going to do? It's going to skip the boss rush. So you might be thinking to yourself, well, if they could do this, why couldn't they just do this during the army fight? Well, if they do this during the army fight, it turns out that Ganondorf just won't spawn. So we can skip the boss rush, but we do need to complete the army fight first. You can also see them doing crouch throw sprinting here, and now they're going to get to the Zoggle. So before we didn't see Roach do an arrow flight at the very end of GSI, but Roms has gone for it. Ah, he almost made it, but not quite, fell off. But that was still very cool. It's a very interesting arrow flight. But luckily failing this doesn't cost you too much time. I thought, because they stood on the end platform for a bit, that they were gonna respawn at the end, but maybe they were too close to the edge. Alright, and now for the Ganondorf fight. You can see, with Zoggled Spears, you can basically just do each phase of this in a single flurry rush. So, whilst Ganondorf can be quite an easy fight in any percent, you can still die to it very easily though. Demon Dragon is the part where it gets difficult. These runners will be going for a thing called Demon Dragon 2 cycle. So, normally, the Demon Dragon will allow you to hit one of its eyes, and then it will start moving, and then it will be invincible whilst it's moving. And if you do the intended strats, or what they intended, as fast as possible, you will hit one eye per cycle, and you will get it in 4 cycles. But it turns out that if you're fast and you drop some wings in the air, you can get 2 eyes in 1 cycle in any percent. So they will be doing that twice. And then Roach has finished Ganondorf with Zuggle there. You got to see just how fast that was. But yeah, for Demon Dragon, it is based on is very cycle based, both for the Demon Dragon and the Light Dragon. One mistake in Demon Dragon 2 cycle can mess up the whole thing, because in the first part we will need Zelda or the Light Dragon to be in a very specific position for it to work. Alright, and here we will see Rom's bomb jumping off of a wing and diving towards the well, it seems, instead of the castle. Whilst Roach grabs the Master Spear, as we like to call it. So I don't exactly know how much time clipping in the castle saves over clipping in the well, but Roms is going to be going for the clip in the well here. Very nice. And now they're going to be swimming through this out-of-bounds water. One little annoying thing about that water there is if you swim off of it in the wrong spot, you can kind of get splooshed in some out-of-bounds water above Link's head and void out. So definitely don't want that to happen. Alright, and that is the Master Sword got. And now they're going to start the Demon Dragon 2 cycle. Whilst Rums is going for the Ragdoll clip. So for Demon Dragon 2 cycle, you want to immediately jump off of the Light Dragon's back, and you want to do Mosdor jumps, or dive, where you dive, cancel the dive, and then do a backward slash in midair to get to the first eye. However, our Zuggled Spears will not help. They'll actually make this fight a lot worse, because the Master Sword does the most damage for this fight. They buffed the amount of damage the Master Sword does, and they nerfed everything else, basically. So they will be dropping their Zuggled Spears for that. There you saw them drop a wing in midair, and then go for the next eye. And now they'll be diving towards Zelda. Now, the positions that work for this, for going to Zelda, she needs to be facing east or northeast, or you need to be facing east or northeast when you jump onto Zelda for it to work. And it looks like they got the right position. Now they're gonna be able to dive to the third eye real fast. Going onto the side a little bit, but seems like it's gonna be fine. Ah, that's unfortunate. Unfortunately, Link got launched to the left instead of the right, so that makes this part a lot harder. It looks like the wing failed, so they're gonna have to jump down and do it the normal way. But a 3 cycle in a race is still, you know, it's still pretty good. Still got most of the trick down. And we can see Roms grabbing the Lizalfos horn, which we're going to use for Ganondorf. Now for the Gibdo wave of the army fight. I don't think I talked about this earlier, but Gibdos are very weak to elemental attacks, so just throwing 2 rubies can take care of most of them, which is very nice. Though the poisonous, like, gas that one of the flying Gibdos is spitting out there can mess you up. Alright, and it looks like the Demon Dragon's in an okay position. Again, like we saw Roach do before, You can do a backup where you drop a wing in midair and do a full damage cancel onto it. But it looks like they're going to be fine. They can just dive towards this eye. Okay. And there is a thing you can do at the end of the Demon Dragon fight where you do a bunch of Mozdor jumps in midair in order to get the Light Dragon to go to you at a specific spot and hit the Demon Dragon's final secret stone on his head way faster than you usually could. But since they got the 3 cycle, that is now impossible, pretty much. But they will be able to just dive down here with a few Mozdor jumps. They should be able to get this. Yeah, they did. And now they will just need to slash the final secret stone. And now the rest is just cutscenes and diving to Zelda. As this is happening, we can see Roms catching up a little bit, doing Ganondorf Zuggle now. But yeah, very clean run from Roach. We got to see some very cool arrow smuggle strategies, along with Zuggle Overload Arrow Smuggle on GSI, getting pretty much all of them first try. So it was a very clean run from them. Alright, and now we're going to be diving down to Zelda. This looks like it's going to be a 50 for Roach, which is pretty nice for a race setting, honestly. Nothing to be ashamed of at all. Oh, and Roms might have not zoggled enough spears there. They didn't defeat Ganondorf in one phase, in one flurry rush, but they did almost get it. But yeah, there we go. That is GG's for ZSRoach, with their timer says 50-24, but in actuality they got a 50-25. But yeah, GG's. We might see them coming in for an interview. But yeah. Roms is having a tiny bit of trouble with Ganondorf here, but it should be fine in the end as long as they don't die. But since we're past the army fight now, dying won't be as bad as it was earlier. Alright, GG's on your run. It's very nice.
Thank you.
Very interesting to see you do Zuggle Overload Arrow Smuggle there. I wasn't actually expecting to see that.
Yeah, I mean, when people first started doing it in runs, I was super excited because it was super similar to 1.2, which is what I was running before this. So
yeah,
definitely
I
had
believe
to.
you held the world record for that.
I think I do at the moment.
But yeah, very clean.
Yeah, there were some issues at the beginning. It didn't go too great with the intro, and then I messed up early ascent. I had to reset cogs. I had to load a save because used too much durability.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Because you do need some Master Sword durability for later on, right?
Yep, for the
construct.
construct inside of Ascend.
Yeah. You almost got Wing Flip though.
Yeah, I was pretty close. I just messed up the last bit. I didn't cancel the Mozdor quick enough, so.
But yeah. Roms is going to be entering the Demon Dragon fight right now.
Yeah, I saw he messed up I think it was the arrow flight to fuse. Or
Yeah, he
not
died in
not
that a
from
few
fuse to
times.
Ultra Hand like a couple times, which is like the worst spot to die. Like it's multi-minute time losses.
Yeah, it
from
really
dying
is
there.
so punishing.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. I had that happen during one of the qualifier runs, and I lost like 8 minutes, which I think is basically the
Ouch.
same thing that happened to Roms here, which is really unfortunate. But after he got past that hiccup, I think he did pretty well.
Yeah, it seems like he made up for a bit of his mistakes there. The run since then has looked pretty clean. But yeah, any thoughts from you going into the rest of the tournament?
I mean, I have a match with you.
Oh yeah, we do. Actually,
in 2 days. On the
yeah,
2nd?
I believe it's on Saturday.
Yeah. And then I have a match with Red Slay tomorrow, actually.
Oh yeah, Red Slay. That's gonna be tough.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to practice like a couple things that I messed up this time because Red Slay, world record contender at this point, so definitely gonna be a difficult one to try to win.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, overall, I'm not too upset with how I did. Would have been nice to not mess up Demon Dragon at the end there, just so I could get a sub 50, but unfortunately I got pushed the wrong way because I wasn't quick enough getting out of the third eye.
Yeah, that's the part where I fail it the most as well. It can just be really annoying.
Yeah, I got into the eye late, and it's because I was too quick to go down. And so backing that up is pretty difficult.
Yeah, I also saw you try to get like a backup for missing the wing towards the castle after GSI.
Oh, don't even tell me about that.
That looked scary.
Yeah, I think I've had to do that like 3 or 4 times this week, just in practice and everything. It's really, really annoying. The way that I do my route makes it so that every time that I place the wing at the end of GSI, it opens up the text box.
Oh no!
And
that's horrible.
The text box every single time gets me, and then I'm stuck there falling, and I have to do like 2 fall damage cancels in a row while dropping a wing in between.
Oh,
and it sucks. Terrible. So I need to rework something that I place an extra wing somewhere, so I don't have to do that every time, because it's the most annoying thing.
Your backup for it looks difficult as well.
No, it's terrible. It's a terrible backup. But I can't think of anything else at the moment.
I mean, do you have any arrows at that point?
No, there's no arrows at that point.
Oh no.
Yeah, you get the arrows from Castle, so you kind of just have to do the old FDC and then place a wing and then do it again so you don't take fall damage, and roll off. But yeah.
That was
actually the first time. That was actually the first time that I did the the ragdoll backup that I think Sirius found.
Oh yeah, that backup looked really good.
Yeah, I hadn't actually checked to see if that was the correct spot or not, but it worked, so I'm just gonna go with it.
Yeah.
And I think Rom's got 2-cycle Demon Dragon, which is good.
Yeah, I didn't see much of it, but yeah,
he did
judging
get,
by the time, it looks like he did get it.
Yeah,
which is very nice. Now he's going to be diving down to Zelda. Still getting the sub 1 hour, which is nice. Even though, unfortunately, the fuse to Ultra Hand flight messed them up a little bit, they managed to recover from a lot of their mistakes and still finished. And, finishing a run in a
These
tournament...
things happen.
Yeah, finishing a run in a tournament after making mistakes is difficult. I applaud them for keeping on going and finishing their run.
Yeah, the mental fortitude that it takes to keep going after something like that is not something to be scoffed at.
But yeah, GG to Roms with the 58 flat. GG on your run.
Yeah, thank you. It was a very awful run, but I finished it.
Yeah,
Yep.
it looks like it got better towards the end though.
Yeah, it was better, but I have to work on my arrow flights. I should be used to because I was on 1.2.0. But I'm very I'm very bad at it right now. I'm doing
Yeah.
mostly glitchless these times, and so I don't run 1.0 so much.
Yeah, I didn't actually see, but did you get the Demon Dragon 2 cycle?
Yeah, I got it.
Ah, very nice.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you.
But yeah, very cool that both of you guys could finish your runs and do so with arrow smuggle strats.
Yeah, I'm glad it was implemented into the run.
But yeah, that was pretty cool race.
Yep.
I think we might be ready to wrap up.
All right. GG's to both ZSRoach and Roms, and thank you, Sludgeon, for commentating this race. We're not going to have any more Tears of the Kingdom today, but there are several races tomorrow and throughout the weekend. So come back to DSR for that, as well as our usual lots of races going on this weekend. But for now, we're going to head off. We're going to go raid Gymnast, who's doing some Tears of the Kingdom speed running. And have a great rest of your Thursday, everyone.